Good evening, guys. Welcome back to the Global Racing Network. We are here in Imola once again. It seems like we can't get away from this place. If you've watched our previous streams, we're here for GRL tonight. And it's round 12 of the Global Racing League. There's the first couple of cars making their way out of the pit lane and heading out on to the track. Should be a good race, this one. We've seen if you've joined us for our other streams recently of FNL and also of Pro-Am Formula Racing, you would have seen we've had quite a few races at Imola on the channel, and this one, they were all good races, them two. This one should be no different, hopefully. So the 18-minute qualifying session is underway, ready for the start of the race. Made the way up the hill for the first time, riding on board with Grobs as he heads down to Aqua Mineradi. Very fast double right-hander and then a left up the straight. He's just setting himself up for a lap currently. I believe that's Colin ahead of him in the Ferrari. There he is indeed. So he's coming down the hill. He'll be the first to open up for us this evening. And the 16 cars tonight had a couple of guys who couldn't make it, but not a disaster to say the least, as Colin comes across the line. To open the lap, we've got a bit of traffic to worry about as he comes through the Tamburello chicane. Out he comes, and the next chicane is Villeneuve. And up to the hairpin, which in previous streams we've seen so many people loop it round there. Colin goes a little bit wide on the exit curb as he makes his way back up the hill. And locks up a bit coming into the chicane there. Has to back out of it. So he will not be the first man to get the time on the board. The first man currently will be Grobs. So right on board with him through the chicane. And he's invalidated as well, so he won't be getting in a lap either. His teammate May's not too far behind though. He is on a lap and has not got it invalidated for one reason or another. He makes his way over the line, 1:17.1 to open for May. So he's the first man to put a time on the board. Big Bad Boots just behind him in the AlphaTauri, 1:17.7 to open up for him. I believe that is Rick Physic in the Mercedes coming around the final corner. He's about to cross the line, 1:18.5 for Rick Physic to open up tonight. Maestro's next to cross the line but hasn't done a lap, so he will not set a time on the board. I think that's NZ Pro just starting a lap. His teammate, however, has just started a lap as well. Tom, our championship leader and owner, begun his first run. Mandro's about to come across the line in the McLaren, 1:35.8. He must have had a spin in that lap. That is insanely slow round here. So he'll have to reset and go again. Donkey Max was off in the Alpine. So he's just had to sort himself out. And Ruffles in the meantime, his teammates just crossed the line, 1:17.2 for him. But May's just crossed the line, gone faster than anybody, 1:16.8. And that lasts for about 2 seconds, and then DL Branco in the Alfa Romeo on one of their home races, 1:15.9 to open up for Branco. So he is on provisional pole. Benny's just set his first lap on a set of mediums, 1:17.3. That's not a bad effort on mediums, to be fair. You can definitely get a lot slower times, but in fact I've just seen that Branco and Maestro in the top two, both setting times on mediums so far. So maybe the medium tyre is the way to go. We saw how quick Branco was last time out in Hungary, and he's showing his pace tonight as well. I've got a yellow down at Tamburello, that's for Mandro in the McLaren. He's got back going again. These things do happen. Branco heads for the pit lane. Now Maestro's got another lap invalidated. Benny is down on his. Big bad boots. Just under a tenth slower than his previous time as he heads out of Aqua Mineradi down towards the third and final chicane. Comes yellow in sector 2. That was for an Alpine. I believe it was Donkey Max because he's the only one out there at the minute. Donkey Max, that's even slower, 1:52.5 for Donkey Max. He definitely had a spin in that lap somewhere. And this one isn't looking much better. He's already in the 1:25s with this lap. So he might improve slightly. I don't think it'll be by much though. So he rounds the final corner onto the front straight. And while Collins just gone fastest of anybody, 1:15.8 for Collins. So his teammate Daly's had a good lap as well, 1:16.3 puts him P3 for the time being. So the Ferrari's in one of their home races, looking pretty strong so far. Benny has backed out of that lap. Mandro is just starting the lap and he's ever so slightly 900ths of a second up on his previous time. 9 milliseconds, sorry, may I add, not hundreds. And he's just under a tenth up on his previous time. He's gone purple in the second sector actually. This is looking pretty good for Mandro. Currently P4. This could easily jump him up the second row of the grid just a little bit. He'll definitely get him P3 if he keeps it together. Across the line he comes, 1:16.0, and it does put him P3 as expected. And that's Utancic getting a little bit of a drag off him coming down the front straight. We're going to watch Utancic as he comes through the Tamburello chicane. Nice and tidy through there. And heading down towards Villeneuve, braking late at the 50-metre board. Easing the car in, goes a little bit wide on exit. Doesn't, slows down a bit though, so doesn't get his time invalidated. Brakes hard into Aqua Mineradi, goes slightly wide, just about corrects it. And heads up the hill to the final chicane. Purple in the second sector for Utancic. Looking a nice tidy lap so far. Can he stick it anywhere near the front runners? We'll have to wait and see as he rounds the final corner. Nice and tidy through there. Might have lost a little bit of time as he sprints for the line. 1:16.1 for Utancic, P4 for him for the time being. But the few big hitters you would like to say at the back, Vitrosity being one of them, and Tom, who we're on board with now, not having a good qualifying session. Tom's got another lap invalidated there and hasn't got one on the board yet. neither has his teammate Enzo Pro. He hasn't got one either. DL Branco in the meantime on another set of mediums, 1:15.6. So that extends his margin at the top. He's gone even faster again. It'll be interesting to see if the front runners respond to that. He's done another lap, and a man who has responded to it on a set of soft tyres is Maestro, 1:15.6 as well, but about 400ths of a second quicker than DL Branco. So he sticks it on provisional pole for the time being, just under 7 minutes to go. We are seeing a lot of medium tyres out there currently. Be interested to see what it comes to in the race. Reek Physic, 2/10 up on his previous time, 1:18.5 is his current best. I would like to think he can go a little bit faster than that come the end of the session. Currently sat in P11. A decent pace in that car, in that Mercedes. Out of Aqua Mineradi, heading up towards the third and final chicane. Purple in the second sector, 5/10 up on his previous time. This will be just under a 1:18, maybe breaking to the 1:17s. Maestro's just gone even faster, 1:15.5 for Maestro now. So it breaks DL Branco by a 10th. Reek Physic around the final corner, crossing the line, 1:17.0 is a massive improvement by 1.5 seconds, and it jumps him inside the top 10 for the time being. Another man on an outlap is Tom, who's currently following an AlphaTauri at the minute. That is Big Bad Boots he is currently following, who gets out the way nice and smoothly. That's sorry, it wasn't Big Bad Boots, it was Maestro who was following. My apologies. Tom's got his outlap invalidated. Currently, Benny's just gone 4 for a 1:16.0, so the quick times are starting to come in. A couple of the guys starting to go out on soft tyres, not really taking a gamble on the medium. A man who is sticking to it is Mandro, currently P5 on the medium compounder tyre. It's Tom down the front straight, he comes, DRS open into the Tamburello chicane, nice and smooth through there. Makes his way up the hill. Into Aqua Mineradi. Tidy through there. Just looking a tidy lap for Tom so far. 50.3 at the second sector mark. So this should be a pretty good lap, this, if he can keep it together into the final couple of corners. 3.5 minutes to go in the session. There he opens DRS, runs to the line, 1:15.5 for Tom on the medium tyre, puts in P2. He's finally got a clean lap in that he wanted. DL Branco is improving behind him though, 2/10 up in the first sector for him. He's making his way through the middle part of the racetrack as he heads down to Aqua Mineradi. Again, this is looking like a nice tidy lap for him. Purple in the second sector, 6/10 up on his previous time, DL Branco. This could be a 1:15.0 if he gets on with it. He got held up by one of the Red Bulls there. That was RBR Grobs just coming out on an out lap. So it got held up a bit by him. The US Open, run to the line, DL Branco, 1:14.5 for the Alfa Romeo driver. He's a second quicker than anybody else. That is a stonking lap from him to put it on pole position. He's on a set of soft tyres though. The man behind him who isn't is Tom, who is going slowly, so he's not going to get a lap in on this occasion. Tansik is invalidated. Daly's coming through the middle sector in the Ferrari down to Akko Minardi. Purple in the second sector for Daly, 5 tenths up on his previous time. 1:16.3 is his best so far. This is looking a pretty good lap from him if he can keep it together in the last couple of corners. Onto the front straight he goes. Wrist open, 1:15.6 for Daly, puts him P4 ahead of his teammate. And out of nowhere, Donkey Max, 1:14.4, beats DL Branco to pole position by a tenth currently. So DL will have to go again, and he's not improving on this lap either. And he's into the pit lane, so he will not get another lap. Donkey Max has really delivered on that last lap for him. Maestro is invalidated currently. So he is just starting a lap. Collins invalidated. May's off the road at the hairpin. It looks like he may have looped it round like we were talking about earlier in previous races. I think he's just done a bit of a carbon copy from it. May is invalidated on that lap as well. Maestro around the final corner. Is he going to improve on his last run? Crossing the line now, 1:15.1, jumps him to P4. For the time being, Tom can't improve, May can't improve, and that is the end of qualifying here in Imola. Donkey Max is on pole position with a stonking last lap, 1:14.4 from him. DL Branco's P2, Mandro's P3, Maestro's down in P4, Tom, our championship leader's down in P5. That is music to the ears of Donkey Max. Daly is P6, Collins down in P7, May just being pushed back to the garage in P8, Benny's P9, Ruffles is P10, Tansix just crossed the line in P11, RBR Grobs P12, Big Bad Boots P13, Rick Physic P14, NZ Pro is 15th, Chronic Spartan, who joined the session late, is down in P16 and will not get a lap in, and Vitrosity is P17. Guys, stay tuned for the race, and we'll be back shortly for when it starts. Welcome back, guys, to the Global Racing League on the Global Racing Network. We are underway for the formation lap for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix here in a very sunny and dry Imola. As the cars made their way around on the formation lap. Donkey Max has got it all to do today, you would think. His championship rival, or championship leader should I say, Tom, is down in P5 on the grid, so that is good news for Donkey Max's race. He needs to try and pull away and make advantage, you would think, of this pole position. But the new challenger to the grid, who showed his muscle last time out, DL Branco in the Alfa Romeo, we saw what he did in Hungary. Had an absolutely brilliant race there. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on, and also Mandro at the front as well. He won in Monza, so he's got a big seems to be a big favourite with the Italian tracks, and Maestro's up there as well, so plenty to choose from. They'll make their way around. We've had a little late arrival to the party, making his debut tonight. Chronic Spartan in the other McLaren, making a late arrival. I did mention that in the qualifying session, but nice to have him along, and good luck for the race. And good luck to everybody for the races. They make their way to the grid. 32 laps we're doing this evening around the Autodromo Internazionale Endino Ferrari. The cars line up on the grid, ready to begin this 32 lap race, the round 12 of the Global Racing League. More than halfway through the season now, as we go to 5 red lights here in Imola. Long 5 red lights out, and away we go. Good getaway from Donkey Max. He's pulled away and he's got ahead of DL Branco on the start. DL Branco has to tuck in. Mandro's fighting with Maestro behind. Maestro trying to go around the outside as they make their way into the Tabarella chicane. Couple of them free wide. That's Daly bouncing across the curbs on the inside there as they make their way down to Villeneuve. I think we may have had a spinner. There's a yellow in sector 1. I think they've just about made it through cleanly as they make their way through Villeneuve and then into the hairpin. It's Donkey Max leading away from DL Branco, from Mandro, and there's a couple of scraps going on behind, mostly involving Colin, who's trying to get past Tom. Tom has not had a great start to this Grand Prix. A man who has had a good start is Benny. He started P9 on the grid. He's got up to P7 early on in the early stages as they make their way through Acco Minerali for the first time. That's Colin off the road and going wide. That's going to open the door up for Benny to maybe make a move. He has to tuck in on that occasion, but it's a good opening lap from him, and as I say that, Colin spins off the road out the third chicane, just loses it on exit, and that is going to drop him miles down the order. Chronic Spartan has also had a spin at the back of the field as Donkey Max leads the way as they make their way onto the second lap. 1:19.8 to open from standing start. That's not too bad round here. So Donkey Max leads the way. DL Branco staying with him. Mandro's falling off the back of these two a little bit. He needs to try and keep himself together if he can. As Donkey Max will defend as hard as he can. DL Branco is staying on his rear bumper. Really, really close to the minute. So make their way through the hairpin for the second time. And back up the hill. We've got a car off the road. That is Reek Physic off the road at the Villeneuve chicane. He's lost it on exit by the looks of things, or maybe a bit of contact might be to play. But he is out. Big Bad Boots is also pitted for a new front wing, so it seems like he may have lost it, and Reek Physics lit up them tyres. He spun it again at the hairpin. You have to be careful. NZ Pro gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings on the opening lap. Meanwhile, back at the front, Donkey Max starting to pull a little bit away from Branco here. As we head on to lap 3, DRS is going to be enabled this lap. Reet Physic might be pitting for a new set of tyres at this rate. He's spun it again at Aqua Mineradi, and so has Chronic Spartan. DRS is enabled this lap. As Donkey Max making his way through the Villeneuve chicane once again. We've got a spinner at the back. I think that is Ruffles down the order. It is indeed. He's in the gravel. He's lost it. And who's that? That's NZ Pro with a huge crash coming out of the exit. I just saw it. Caught the tail end of that in the top right left of my screen. And he's completely looped it round just before Villeneuve chicane. Reet Physic has retired from the race, so he is out. Ruffles is off the road again, and then NZ Pro has retired from the race as well, and the virtual safety car is out because of it. So the virtual safety car is out. Everyone's going to have to slow down to respect the delta while we get NZ Pro's car cleared away. It was a very big accident, was that. He carried on for a little bit further, but then I think he decided to retire the car. Now this is crucial. Donkey Max is into the pit lane, and he's got a 5-second penalty for speeding into it. That could be costly come the end of the race. So Donkey Max is in, and he won't be able to serve it here either. He's onto a set of mediums, so he will try and go to the end of the race if he can before, but that's going to drop him down the order, and nobody else has pitted. So DL Branco takes the race lead from Mandro from Maestro. Tom moves up to P4. Benny with a great starts up into P5 from P9 on the grid. Donkey Max has come out in P11, which is quite a considerable way down the order. As meanwhile Benny is trying to attack Tom, coming down towards Aqua Mineradi, and at the same time Tom's trying to attack Maestro in front, so it's a little bit of a train starting to form here. And you would like to think Benny has got the tyre advantage here. If we look at the graphic on screen now, Benny is on soft tyres, Tom is on mediums, so it'll be interesting to see what happens come the end of the race. But it looks like Benny is going to try and push as much as he can for the time being. Looks like Tom will get DRS off Maestro in front. Maestro has DRS on Mandro though at the same time. Made the way through. Tom closes that gap a little bit more to Maestro, just through the middle sector. Got a yellow in sectors 2 and 3. That's down at Aqua Mineradi, that one. Not quite sure what's happened there. It's all green again now, so I don't think it was anything serious. We've got a slow car. This could be interesting. Chronic Spartan spun at Aqua Mineradi. The race leaders are just coming through there now. Hopefully there's no incident about. Luckily he's ghosted, so that's kind of sorted itself out. So meanwhile Benny's fallen off Tom here, and Tom is going to try and attack Maestro for P3. Donkey Max come out in P11. He's up to P10 now after getting past May in the Red Bull. So he's just trying to make his way slowly but surely back up the order if he can. As Tom's got DRS on Maestro, and Maestro's got DRS as well to try and defend a bit. Tom closes the gap that little bit more. Still just not quite close enough to make a move. Ruffles has a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And who's that in the wall? I think that's Mandro off. It is indeed. He lost it on the exit of the Villeneuve chicane. So he's lost it. And we've got a virtual safety car. That is because Chronic Spartan is off the road. And there is debris on the track, so another virtual safety car in this race. So hopefully the marshals will get that one cleared away pretty quickly. There's a decent gap where that front wing's come off now, so hopefully it won't be too long before we go green again. As we wait for it to end, it should be at any moment now, really. And DL Branco has used the opportunity to go into the pit lane, so he's going to lose the race lead now. It's going to be Maestro leading the race. Now this will be interesting to see where Branco comes out. We've gone green once again. It'll be interesting to see where he comes out in relation to Donkey Max. Remember, Donkey Max was ahead of him in the first part of the race. I think Donkey Max is going to get ahead of him. He's just crossed the line now, and he is going to get ahead of him by quite a comfortable margin. In fact, there's going to be a car ahead of him as well, so Donkey Max up to P9. He's currently in the net lead, you would like to say. But Maestro still leading the way. Tom is now battling in. This is now the battle for the lead, as Maestro gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings, gets a little bit loose on exit. This could leave him vulnerable to Tom here. Tom trying to pick his moment to make a move. It looks like he's going to try and go down the inside here. Is Maestro going to give him the place? The answer is yes. Tom moves up into the race lead. Or is that down to the fact that Maestro wants a bit of DRS just to try and stay ahead of him? He's got Mandro for company not too far behind. Benny's not far behind this group, but he's just got a penalty for multiple warnings as well. Tom might be vulnerable here to an attack, as Maestro is going to make a move down the inside on Tom. That's going to be tight. Maestro has to back out of it, gets it all sideways, and just about lives to fight another day, but loses the position to Mandro and Benny in the process. Benny's got a broken front wing though, by the looks of things. I think that is an end plate missing off that Williams. I could be wrong. No, I don't think he is actually. He isn't missing one. He just looked like he went a little bit deep there. So Benny moves up to P3. Mandro's still battling with Tom. He's going to not try and let Tom out of his sights if he can. Obviously, a lot of these guys are still going to have to pick. Donkey Max has got past Atrocity and is now into 8th position. So he's moved up the order. DL Branco has also just passed the Atrocity, who hasn't pitted yet. Like I say, Donkey Max in the net race lead here as we head on to lap 9 of this Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Crossing the line, yellow in sector 3. That is Chronic Spartan again, who's just come out on a set of hard tyres to try and get him to the end. It's not been his day so far, and the entire field has lapped him currently. He's going to have to try and get on his feet once again. DL Branco just done the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so he is up the order. Mandro is doing a pretty good job here to stay with Tom. We know the pace that he's got, but normally Tom, once he gets into the race lead, he normally runs away with it. It doesn't look like that is happening currently. Mandro's doing very well to stay with him. I tell you, another man who is doing well daily, he's just got past Maestro, but it looks like Maestro might try and fight back here if he can. And they've got Utancic behind him, who's trying to do a bit of defending from Donkey Max. Donkey Max is going to try and make a move on Utancic here. This is going to be a bit tight going down into the second to last corner. Donkey Max makes his way up into P5. So he's already stopped, so you'd think these guys ahead of him would want to pit sooner rather than later. Daly's into the pit lane, so he is making his stop. And meanwhile, Utancic's got past Donkey Max, and now it's Donkey Max. It looks like Alfa Romeo might be playing the team game here a bit. Utancic is defending really well from Donkey Max. It looks like he's just trying to keep there for the time being, and we've got another virtual safety car. That's the third one in the first 10 laps of the race. But look like Utancic was doing a pretty good job of keeping Donkey Max behind him, and his teammate DL Branco is being able to try and stay with him a bit. And they're playing the team game, are the Alfa Romeos at the minute. As we wait to go green once again. Chronic Spartan has retired from the session. There he is off the road there, so he is out of the race. That could extend this virtual safety car period a bit longer until that car is cleared away. As meanwhile, Maestro and Tom are into the pit lane. Tom has pitted. Donkey Max is into the pit lane again. So that's a very interesting call. Is he going to whack on another set of mediums? The answer to that is yes, and he's also going to serve his 5-second penalty. So he's whacked on a fresh set. Mandro's got space to box here if he really wanted to. He's got no threat that you're going to lose about 20 seconds in the pit lane round here. He'd probably want a bad idea to box under the virtual safety car, but he hasn't for the time being, and he's stayed out. He's going to have to try and extend his lead, and the Alfa Romeos are just going to play the team game now. DL Branco is just going to follow his teammate, and Utancic lets him past Aqua Mineradi. So Utancic's served his purpose there, holding up Donkey Max as much as he can. Donkey Max forced to get out pit and get out of the dirty air, and DL Branco nicks ahead, which is kind of what we were expecting really. Tom's gone on to a set of hard tyres, so he will be trying to go to the end if he can so manage it. Looks like Mandro's going to be coming up to a bit of traffic here. That's Ruffles in the Alpine, the other one. At the minute has a bit of a wobble coming through the hairpin. Lap 12 out of 32 in this race. And we've got a yellow in sector 1. I believe that is Maestro's had a spin down at Tamburello. It is indeed. So he's lost it. And meanwhile, May is trying to battle Donkey Max here for 10th place and the final position in the points. May's lost off the back of here. Tom is trying to get past Utancic and has used DRS to close in on him that little bit more. I think Tom will try and follow and try and get DRS the next time round, but we'll wait and see. As they come across the line, Tom has got DRS and has swooped down the inside of Utancic. And Mandro's also gone into the pit lane and is just leaving it now. So DL Branco is now on his own out there. You think he's going to become vulnerable, and as Mandro has spun at the chicane, that's Tamburello he spun at. So he's going to have to try and get his composure back. That moves everyone up a place. Meanwhile, now as Mandro tries to recover, Maestro is all over the back of him, coming through the hairpin. Maestro will look to try and make a move if he can down into Aqua Mineradi. It's not the ideal place to overtake, but he might try and have a look. He's just not quite close enough there. Will he have a look down into the chicane? We'll wait and see. Again, not close enough on that occasion. He'll definitely get DRS down the front straight. Tom's just done the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 1:17.763 for Tom. So he's catching DL Branco pretty quickly, who has already stopped in this race. Maestro's going to try and make a move on Mandro here, round the outside. Maestro's got the move done before the corner, nice and simple. Made it look easy. It was not an easy move to pull off, was that. Meanwhile, a bit further up the road, Benny is trying to get past Daly. Currently half a second between these two. At the halfway point in the race, Daly has a bit of a wobble on exit there. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. Benny will look to try and make a move down the hill here if he can find the space. Goes a little bit on the grass there, in all fairness. On board with Benny. Just not quite close enough at the minute. He's got DRS on this occasion. Daly moves to the inside. That's going to cost him time. Benny might try and have a look. Not quite. Just not quite close enough on that occasion. Stick with this battle as it continues. Say Benny just not quite close enough to make a move at the minute. Goes a little bit wide in Aqua Mineradi. Just about keeps two wheels on the road. Hill, we've got a yellow at the Tamburello chicane. That is Ruffles in the wall, and that is another virtual safety car. And Ruffles has lost the front wing in the process of that. It looks like he's had quite a bit of a spin. So he's going to have to try and recover from that one. This is the fourth virtual safety car of the race. And we're green once again. Benny still looks to try and make a move on Daly here. He just cannot find an ideal place to make an overtake. As Benny makes his way up the hill. A little kick of oversteer on exit there. Just about keeps it together. On board with Benny once again. trying to bring himself that little bit closer. They've got traffic, that's Big Bad Boots just ahead of them, so hopefully he will get out of the way with no problems whatsoever. And Benny's closer to Daly on this occasion. He's going to get DRS down the front straight. He's going to try and stick with Daly as much as he can. Will he make a move again? Not quite, just not quite close enough. Is Benny to making a move? And Big Bad Boots has ghosted out, so he shouldn't be a problem for these boys when they get near him. Lap 18 out of 32. Benny looks ever so more to try and make a move on Daly. Goes a little bit wide there for Aqua Mineradi. He's going to have to concede that time to avoid a penalty. He's definitely closer to Daly on this occasion. Gap is only 2 tenths currently. He'll be within detection. Is he going to be close enough to make a move on Daly for 4th place? We'll soon find out as DRS, but Daly's got DRS in front from the lapped car of Big Bad Boots, so Benny can do nothing about that one on this occasion. He stays with him for one more lap. I think he should get him, and who's that in the wall? That's Big Bad Boots into the wall. That is a huge hit. That is surely going to have to be a safety car, and it is. Safety car is out with no hesitation. That was a huge accident on the exit of Tamburello chicane. He just completely lost it. And you can see the car there on the inside. He's lost it on the curve and gone into the inside wall. And that is disaster strike for DL Branco. He's going to have to pick this lap. Jutancic, it's an absolute godsend for him because he would have been coming in at the end of this lap, I would have thought, being on hard tyres. So he will probably box. I would like to think DL Branco might box for a fresh set to get him to the end of the race, and he is doing so. He is into the pit lane this lap. So DL Branco is in. Tom behind him is also in. Jutancic will definitely have to go in, I would say, and he does indeed. Daly is coming in. Benny's coming in. I think everyone's going to end up coming in at this rate and make the most of this safety car period. Maestro, Donkey Max is in. May is also in. Colin will definitely be in. Vitrosity, not so sure about. Grobs and Ruffles have just pitted, so they will be staying out. So everyone diving into the pit lane, fresh sets on, and we've got a sprint to the finish on our hands. Guys, stay tuned, and we'll be back for the restart shortly. Welcome back to the Global Racing League here on the Global Racing Network. The safety car is coming in on at the end of this lap. DL Branco leading the way. He's staying pretty close to this safety car. He does not want to let anybody behind him get a draft on this restart. And DL Branco has gone at the very last second that he could. We are green once again here in Imola as they make their way down towards Tamburello once again. Is Tom going to try and make a move on DL Branco? He moves to the outside, can't quite get it done, cuts him off aggressively. And I think there's a yellow in the background. I think that's Donkey Max. That is crucial for the championship. Donkey Max has had a crash on the first restart. He's lost it. I'm not quite sure what's happened there, but that is crucial for the championship. That is music to the ears of Tom. Currently, as they make their way up down towards Aqua Minerali once again. But Donkey Max, that is a disaster for him. He did not want that on the restart of this race. Lap 22 out of 32. 10 to go in this Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. DL Branco still leading the way. Can he get to the end on them soft tyres? It'll be touch and go. Tom behind him is on mediums. Some of them have opted for mediums, some have opted for softs. It's a confusing strategy to say the least. As we make our way onto lap 23. DL Branco 1:17.1, quickest of the race so far. And who's that behind? That is Benny trying to get past Jutancic. This is for a podium place. Can't quite on this occasion. He needs the help of DRS as Benny this evening. He's not got it on that occasion due to not being close enough. Benny is still trying to make a move on Jutancic here. He's got a train of cars forming behind him as Jutancic. He really needs to make a move, you think, sooner rather than later. He's holding a lot of Formula 1 cars behind him. Made our way on to lap 24. DL Branco still leads the Grand Prix 1:16.8. Quickest time so far that we've seen, and the DRS has been enabled this lap. So meanwhile, Daly's coming under attack from Mandro here. Mandro might try and make a move. Not quite. Benny's falling back into this picture a little bit. On board with Mandro as we head through Villeneuve. And he's got a good run here. He might try and make a move on Daly. Down the inside he goes. And I think he's just about got it stopped. And he has. He's moved through. And Maestro might try and follow through here. I think he has, you know. And he has indeed. He's got past Daly. Daly is falling behind from these boys. On board with Colin. And we've got a bit of a bird's eye view of this currently. But Daly is falling down the order. Yellow in sector 2. That is May that's spun round at Aqua Minerali. He's looped it round. Benny is coming under attack from Mandro here. But we'll get DRS from Jutancic. See, Benny might be able to try and make a move himself. He goes the right way about it. On board with Mandro. Is he going to try and make a move? He might have a look. I think better of it, but Benny is closed right onto the back of Jutancic here. There's Mandro behind, and that is spots of rain in the air here in Imola. That is raining here in Imola. There are spots of rain in the air. You can see them on the graphic there as Mandro comes back and Benny pushes Benny off the road. Mandro squeezes his way through. This is going to leave Benny vulnerable for Maestro here. Maestro defends. Benny defends it well, goes a little bit wide on exit. And has to give way, but this is going to be crucial. Rain is falling here in Imola. When is it going to get wet enough to change onto intermediate tyres, or is anybody just going to try and see it out? We'll have to wait and see. But DL Branco still leads the way in this race. We knew we would get some rain at some point in Imola. It was just going to be a question of when, and it seems to have arrived now. Mandro's going to try and make a move on Utancic, and that Alfa Romeo wall is finally broken. Mandro makes his way through and gets himself through on board with Maestro, coming through Villeneuve. Using all the ERS he can, Maestro, just to try and make a move on Benny here. He's trying to send it down the inside here, side by side, going down into Aqua Mineradi. This is brave. Round the outside goes Maestro. Is he getting stopped? He has a kick of oversteer on exit, and I think he's made contact with Benny, and Benny is round and has lost it. I think there may have been a touch there. We'll have to confirm that later on. Well, there must have been some form of contact. Meanwhile, Colin trying to make a move on Daly. Still not quite wet enough yet to warrant to go to intermediate tyres. Utancic's off the road there. That's going to leave him vulnerable. Utancic hasn't got DRS. He's going to have to defend hard. Daly to the inside. Colin will probably try and follow through if he can. And he can't. Utancic parks his car very well indeed. And it's do or die now in the last couple of laps of this race. Utancic goes wide. This is going to allow Colin to make a move. Colin down the inside. There's a kick on exit. Loses the traction and has to give way for now. In the last stages, Donkey Max and May are on to set of intermediate tyres. And how are they coping? The answer is they're coping alright at the minute. It's only going to be a matter of time, I think, before everybody jumps on the bandwagon on that one. Lap 27 out of 32. It is a wet racetrack now. They're going to have to box. You can see the puddles starting to form. DL Branco staying out. That's a very interesting call. Tom is also staying out, even though it's a wet racetrack. Mandro is in. That could be crucial for the race. Maestro stays out. Daly's in. Collins in. Well, this could be interesting. A double stack for Ferrari. We've got a virtual safety car. This is going to play even more into their favour as they come out. Oh, this could be a disaster for Alpine. Ruffles is in. He is going to get back out in front of the Ferraris. On a double stack strategy. Everyone else has gone on to Inters. Mandro down are all on intermediate tyres now. Maestro, Tom and DL Branco are the only people who have stayed out currently. Could become pivotal come the end of the race. Is DL Branco just going to try and see it out? We'll have to wait and see. It will seem a very risky strategy if he does just try and see it out. Is he into the pits? Yes, he is. He's in. So Branco is in. Tom is also going in. Maestro will be boxing as well, I think. Maestro staying out. That's a very interesting call. Maestro is going to take the race lead. Is he going to survive on them soft tyres? That is going to be the crucial factor here. My gut feeling says no. I think it's too wet now. But Maestro is going to try and see it out. He's going to be a brave little bunny if he does. Lap 29 out of 32. Is he going to be able to hold on to this? He's going very slowly through the middle sector. I think it was a gamble to stay out. Big kick of oversteer, still keeping it just about in a straight line. He's got lapped cars. That's Donkey Max catching up to him. And the lap car might even try and overtake him, and that's exactly what's happened there. And I think this is going to go downhill for Maestro here. DL Branco, 5.3 seconds is the gap. 3.7, 3.5 coming down all the time. There is DL Branco. I think Maestro has made a very big mistake, and it could be a costly one in this race. Tries and makes his way round, gives the position, and DL Branco retakes the race lead. And Maestro is pitting only a lap later than what he probably needed to. So DL Branco has the race lead once again. And that's Donkey Max out of the race. He's had a crash. Is that going to bring out a safety car? That almost looked like he crashed on purpose there. I think he might have done, you know. Well, that could be one for the steward's room later tonight. That definitely did look like he crashed on purpose there. Maestro's gone out on a set of soft tyres. If that graphic's correct, he's not changed to the intermediate tyre. That is a disaster for Maestro. He's going to have to crawl around and go in again. His day has gone from bad to worse. He must have not hit his pit request button, and that could be costly as DL Branco comes on to the penultimate lap of this race. He heads down to the Tamburello chicane once again. DL Branco still hanging on here. Maestro's now finally got himself on the correct compounder tyre. As DL Branco crosses the line and heads on to the final lap of this Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, which started out dry and the last couple of laps has turned to a very wet Imola racetrack. DL Branco makes his way through Villeneuve for the final time. Like I say, he's driven a pretty good race, Our pole sitter Donkey Max was out of the race and had a mistake on the safety car restart. That cost him dear, and that has summed up the race really. Tom Prof is going to extend his championship lead at the top, and I think it might cost Donkey Max dear. It might drop Donkey Max down to 3rd place, might this result. But we'll have to wait and see as DL Branco makes his way through the final chicane and down towards the final corner. Onto the front straight he goes. Crosses the line. DL Branco wins the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. He wins. Tom comes home for P2. Mandro comes home for P3. Daly in the Ferrari is going to have another good finish for him. He comes home for P4. Colin comes home for what will be P5. RBR Grob's P6. Benny, comes home for P5 with penalties. Colin comes home P6. Grob comes home for P7. Yatancic comes home for P8. Trusty will come home for P9. May is going to come home for P10. Maestro P11. And Ruffles has already crossed the line in P12. Guys, what a race that was. That was interesting. DL Branco gets a win in GRL. And Tom, even though he comes home P2 with his main rival not finishing this race and not scoring points, that extends his championship lead by 18 points at the top. Guys, thanks very much for watching this GRL coverage here on the Global Racing Network, and we'll see you next time.